I'm here at the Miller property. As you can see, oh, sorry, that's my phone. I am here at the Miller property. As you can see, there's the mailbox. So whenever you stop by, leave a donation. That's just for the upkeep of the site, and it keeps the property open and the property owner happy. A thing to note is, I think the owner here is chill with you camping here. Just don't do campfires. If you do stay here overnight, please don't do campfires, because that's not appreciated by the owner. And they've actually mentioned before online that if that kind of stuff continues, they're thinking of shutting down this area. So don't do that. That's not cool. That ruins the fun for everybody. So please don't do that. Here are like the main digging areas. You can kind of see the trenches. You can actually see the oh, there's a little chipmunk. Hey, buddy. You can see where there's like feldspar and amphibole crystals in the thing. From what I understand, the main digging areas are pretty picked over. People have dug through them so many times. So really, you kind of have to go a little off the beaten path and try and find a new vein. You could probably kind of guess which direction you might need to go in. But I got some advice from some friends, so hopefully I'll be able to find a good spot and find some nice specimens. So, I think I found the spot my friend was talking about. Looks like whoever was here before found a lot better stuff, because look at all this is all just like apatite pieces, and I picked out these pieces, terminated pieces, in larger chunks, just in case I don't find a lot. But I have a feeling I might have a good day. Just maybe. Who knows? It looks like they've dug pretty deep, as you can see. So I'm thinking maybe continuing that trench by the looks of it. I think that might be a plan. I decided I'm going to dig a new hole. And I found this nice little doubly terminated red apatite crystal. The apatite in northern Ontario tends to have usually pretty lumpy terminations. So terminations aren't nice and clean. Well, this one actually isn't too bad. There might be just a bit of damage on this side, but still a pretty nice find. And actually, it's not whole, but found some titanite already. A lump of titanite crystals that looks a little broken and stuff, but I seem to be digging in the right spot. There were too many roots in the last one, so I decided to try and work on a trench that had been dug deep already and just kind of continue it. And I just pulled these out of the wall. Nice double terminated apatite. Good terminations on both ends. By the looks of it, no damage to minimal damage. And then this large guy, he's got a bit of damage there and there, but this is a very nice large apatite. I couldn't make up my mind to dig, so I just went back here where I found those guys. Just pulled this guy off of the wall, actually. It was just kind of sitting in the dirt, kind of stuck to the wall. A nice little lump of titanite crystal. You can see the distinct shovel. This looks like it just kind of eroded off of the wall. I'm not seeing any breaks on it, which is cool. It's a nice whole specimen. And I found this larger chunk earlier on today of titanite. And then I've got this guy. There's a large broken one crystal on there. And then I think this might be a sliver of titanite. But I've been finding some nice apatites. I found this nice little squat specimen. Nice double terminated green apatite. Just a little bit of damage on there, but nice little guy. And a bunch of other guys, some double terminated ones and some nice points. So, I thought I'd show you some of my finds from the Smart Mine. I actually went there back there like a couple weeks after I first went there. And on the second trip, I found some more apatite, a couple chunks of titanite, nothing super crazy. But then I also found this guy. Some guy had just discarded this. But this is a very nice large kind of plate of amphibole hornblendy minerals. So I thought it looked pretty pleasing to the eye, and I liked the look of it. So I thought I'd take it home, clean it up, and put it in my display case, because I don't really have a large specimen of amphibole/hornblende in my collection. So I thought it would be a nice display piece. Another interesting large specimen that I found is this really nice large floater feldspar crystal that I just kind of found in one of the discard piles. You know, another man's trash. One man's trash is another man's treasure. It seemed the area had gone through some kind of forest fire in the past. It must have been a while ago, because there's a lot of old growth trees in the area now. But it seems some of the crevices were exposed to fire, and so some of the stuff got covered in this really like black charcoaly stuff, and this feldspar crystal was just covered in it. But after soaking it and putting it in my vibratory cleaner, I managed to get that black crusty stuff off and exposed a nice large terminated floater crystal of feldspar. It'll look nice in my display case, and it's one of the largest, biggest intact feldspar crystals that I've personally ever found, so I'm pretty happy about that. Up next, we've got this nice terminated piece. Has some damage on these two parts, but altogether, it's a nice large terminated piece of apatite that I pulled off of found in the trenches when I was digging in my first trip. So that's very nice, and I found some other really cool stuff too. Though one thing to note is that apatite can be, you might take it home and you might try and clean it up, and it might just fall apart on you because it can be quite crumbly, and I'll actually show you an example. Remember that kind of squat green double terminated apatite crystal that I collected? Well, I tried to clean it, and you can see that it kind of just started to fall apart and crumble. So that's what I mean when apatite can be crumbly. So you just got to be careful when you collect. That you, when you take it home and you try and clean it very carefully, because they can crumble on you pretty easily, even if you're carefully cleaning. Sometimes it's crumbly from the start, so you can't really do anything about it. So here are some of the more nicer double terminated apatites that I found. You can see some of them are like mostly green, some of them are mostly red, and some of them are kind of like a mix. Now some, you look at them and you'll be like, that's terminated? Are you sure, Aiden, that you know what you're talking about? And yeah, apatite, especially in Ontario, tends to sometimes have like really weird wonky terminations. So you can see here, it's all smoothed off. It's not broken. There's no sharp jagged fractures or anything. It's just very like lumpy, and like the termination basically just didn't form. And you can see here it kind of formed, but it's still very lumpy. And you can see here where it probably grew up against another crystal. And that sometimes also happens where the apatite just grows up against another crystal and then it doesn't terminate properly. But then that crystal erodes away, and then this crystal doesn't, and so you get the really weird wonky double terminated apatites. Here's another example. And it's just a nice green Jolly Rancher apatite, but then you can see the terminations are like non-existent. Just like very lumpy terminations. Now some are a little sharper. You can see this one's more pointed, like it's actually got the proper hexagonal, but then on this side it goes lumpy, and it did get damaged a little bit on this side. But another example. Here's another one. It's got some green on one side. You can see the nice terminations. This one's actually got good terminations on both ends. Here's another guy. Got lumpy terminations, but no, double terminated is double terminated. And then this guy's kind of cool, where it's actually a couple crystals that have grown together, but then they've kind of terminated. Now the terminations on this one is also one of those weird lumpy ones, but it's a nice red-green mix with some interesting like stepping and stuff, so it's a cool little piece to have in the collection. Last but not least, I've got the Titanites. So these are the smaller ones, the more gemmy ones that do have some damage and stuff, but you can see the nice shovel-shaped crystal, and kind of the dark black to dark coffee brown color. Here's a nice fully terminated one, kind of sitting on some kind of probably just a kind of amphibole matrix bit. This is a really nice one. It's very little damage. This guy is another great example of the actual Titanite crystal shape. You can see that kind of shovel pointed, but then it's a little bit damaged on this side. And then the biggest piece, and this is probably one of the biggest pieces I've ever found. It's not whole. You can see it's damaged. It's missing a bunch, but it's got the right shape. It's got the right density. It's got the right color. It's a nice large Titanite, semi-Titanite crystal that's been damaged, but still pretty cool. Probably still go in my display case since it's the biggest piece, and it's kind of just damaged on the edges, so you can still see a lot of the proper Titanite shape to it. So, if you like this type of stuff, rockhounding related content, and you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing, and also please consider liking the video if you haven't done that already. I do a mix of rockhounding, lapidary, and arrow hunting related videos. I try and post at least one at least 10-minute long video a week. That might change once I go back to my final semester of university, but hopefully I'll have enough content lined up so that I can continue doing that. But if you like this type of stuff and you haven't subscribed already, I would appreciate your subscription. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.